Hi, I'm Mike from Become a Better Guitar Player, and today's lesson is 6 tips to make strumming easier. I've been playing guitar for a long time, and I think I've come up with a few ideas that would help a beginner player strum on their guitar and coordinate their hands. And at the end, I have a bonus tip for us older players who maybe have problems with our hands. So my tip number 1 is you have to get the right pick. Picks come in lots of shapes and sizes. It's a personal preference. I like to use these big, thick, heavy ones. They make them smaller and they're thinner and more flexible. Some of them have texture on them so you can hold them better. So if you can't get guitar picks, you can make them out of credit cards. People do that. Just a pair of scissors and a credit card and you can make a pick. Some country people like to use these thumb picks and they pick like they're playing a banjo or something. Something that I never really got the hang of, but they're there. So after you've gotten your pick, you need to learn how to hold your pick correctly. I hold mine with just a little bit of pick sticking out. Some people like a little more hanging out, some people use a little less. But this is what works for me. It's a personal preference. After you strum a little bit and you get the hang of it, it'll just come naturally. You put it in your finger the same way every time. So my next tip for picking is, this is tip number 3, is the angle of the pick as you're strumming your guitar needs to go like this. And I think my best analogy for this is, think of your pick as a paintbrush. When you go up, you do that, and you go down, you do that. Maybe not as abrupt of an angle, but it's an easy way to visualize how you're supposed to do it. So now you're picking with your guitar. And I think as a beginner, you have 2 things to think about. You have your right hand, and your picking hand, and your fretting hand. And it's 2 separate entities that you need to coordinate. And I think as a beginner, it's best to separate them. My 4th tip is mute the strings on the guitar. This is just a little rag I use to wipe off my guitar with. So there's nothing there. I mute the strings so I can focus entirely on my picking, and I don't have to concern myself with coordinating my hands at that point. So then what I like to do is I like to listen to the strumming pattern of the song, and I'll put on a YouTube video and I'll listen to the strumming pattern, and I'll learn that before I learn the chords. And on some acoustic songs that are fairly simple to play, the strumming pattern is typically harder to master than the chord progression. So I'll work on that strumming pattern, and I'll learn the entire song from beginning to end. And that's my next tip. Learn the entire song just through the strumming pattern. Don't concern yourself with the chords at first. Listen to the song along with the YouTube video and play it from beginning to end. Mute the strings. Don't worry about how it sounds. Just get to that picking pattern down. That's very important. Do it multiple times till you get it where you can do it without thinking about it, and then get to where you can do it without looking at your right hand. Because in a perfect world, you're not supposed to look at your hands when you're playing guitar. But I've been playing a long time, and I still look at my left hand, my fretting hand, when I'm playing. So if you can get to where you're not looking at your right hand before you even learn the chords for the song, a lot of songs you've done the majority of the work just right there, because you might be playing the same chord over and over again, but your picking hand will be moving the whole time. So I feel like that's a good way to synchronize your hands. Think of them as two separate entities in the beginning, and then after you've mastered the picking, then throw in the chords. And that's my advice for somebody just learning how to play guitar. And my bonus tip for some of us older guys with messed up hands is, if you take your guitar pick and you drill a hole in it, you can hold on to it easier. It's as simple as drilling a hole in it. So if you're having a hard time holding on to your pick and it flies out of your hand, and if you drill a hole in it, it really makes a difference. I couldn't believe how simple it was, but it actually works really, really well. So thank you, and I hope you like this video, and I hope it helps you out. If it does, like and subscribe to our channel. It's entirely free to subscribe to it, and it helps us out a lot. So thank you, and have a great day.